Okay, we're back. So a little bit of a false start, but I think we're good to go now. So yeah, we're gonna jump back into some standard event matches. We streamed a little bit earlier. Ended up stopping at 4-1. Um, Not too bad, but the last match was a slog fest. It was one of those, um, just games that went on for quite a while that we ended up losing. It was kind of deflating, but I was gonna get off anyways, so it was a good stopping point. But yeah, we're just gonna jump right back in. Hey, how's it going, Pluto? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, we're gonna jump into some games. I was just explaining we're 4-1 in our current league, and we're gonna go ahead and get going. So the one thing that I've changed since the stream earlier is I have tried to install the MTG untap.gg extension for Twitch. Um, what that is supposed to do is a couple things. It is supposed to allow you to type exclamation point deck in chat, and it should display my current deck list as long as I'm in a match, from my understanding. I tried to test this earlier, but I wasn't in a match, so it didn't do anything. So if one of y'all wants to type in exclamation point deck and see if that works for you, that'd be great. And the other thing that it is supposed to do is it is supposed to allow you to hover over any of the cards that are in play, and it will show you a blown up version of the card regardless of where my mouse is. So I have tried that out on some other people's Twitch streams, and it seems to work well. So if once we actually get into a game, it looks like we're getting draw bugged here. So no game yet. Untapped is pretty good. Yeah, so I think we were talking, Ramus, and you had recommended that I look into MTGA Assistant, and I did a little bit of that today, and just did some more comparison and whatnot once I started down that rabbit hole, and I ended up at Untapped. But yeah, you definitely started me down this journey, and I hope it works out. And if not, I can always reconsider and um, look more into some of the other options afterwards. But that's where we are for today. So let's see if we can actually get a match. This is long even for the draw bug. Normally you get the draw at around a minute. Way better for streaming because of Twitch support. That's kind of what I read that kind of led me down this way. Is that since it was so well integrated into Twitch as the extension, it just had a lot going for it in that regard. And then they were pretty comparable as far as like what we were talking about yesterday, the deck tracking and the set completion and vault completion and that sort of thing was pretty comparable. I'm just gonna go ahead and cancel out of here. I don't know. I don't know. I've never seen it just fail to do anything. It's always gone to that draw screen. But we're just gonna cancel out and hit play again and see if we can actually find somebody. I mean, it's possible just nobody wants to play with me tonight. I don't know. That's not likely, I wouldn't imagine, but it's indeed possible. Up to 4 viewers. Welcome, welcome if it's your first time here. You got the draw bug 1 in 5 matches. Wow. I can't say I've ever gotten it quite that often, but I definitely get it often enough to know what it is, and it's definitely pretty annoying. Does anybody know how long that's been going on? I know I asked the other day in chat. I don't think I got an answer, but it sounds like it's something that's been going on long enough that it's something that is known and talked about. I don't know if there's any, work on it or any anticipated fix coming, but for right now it is what it is. If this happens again, I might just go ahead and restart MTG Arena, assuming that something is going on there. We'll give it till about 2 minutes, and then we'll try that if we haven't found anybody at that point. Well, it's always something. Always something. There's another bug that starts the game with a hand size of 0 and makes you discard a card, which is impossible to do. Wow, that sounds like a great bug. How do you even, I mean, what happens? So it's impossible to do, and does the game just freeze up? It forces a concession? Oh my gosh. So I know the draw bug, it does not, obviously it's a draw, it doesn't count against your win-loss record. Does that happen to both players at once? Do both players start with 0 cards, or is it, I mean, when it forces you to concede, does that go against your win-loss record? That would be infinitely more annoying. I would be quite frustrated about that. How does that work when stuff like that happens? I remember when I used to play, it happens mainly in drafts and it's one-sided. Ouch. Yeah, that's rough. I remember in MTGO that, you know, there was some sort of process that you could go through when things like that happen, because obviously it's a computer program and bugs happen. But there was some sort of you know, process you could go through to get reimbursed for a draft if something like that happened, or any sort of event, the entry fee for the event. I don't know for sure, but I would assume that there's a process like that for Arena as well. Ramus, have you found that to be the case? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and restart MTG Arena. People were saying you could copy the logs and WotC would reimburse you for the draft entry fee. Okay, and that's you know, fair. It's the you know, it's the best they can do in a situation like that. Obviously, you would prefer your games just not have any bugs, but if and when they come up, you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, so we're restarting, so we get to look at my nice wallpaper that I've got going on in the Twitch studio. I mean, this also might, you know, in theory, could possibly have something to do with me trying to have installed the Untappd.gg and done a poor job with that. Because literally, you know, this afternoon I streamed a couple matches and it worked just fine. The only thing that's changed since then is me trying to download the Twitch extension and add that in. So if this does not work, I can go in to the Twitch settings and try and disable the extension, and we can see if that works. But I don't find that likely to be the case, but hey, sometimes you just gotta find something. Hey, we did it. Did you turn on the detailed logs in MTGA account settings? No. So I did not look at the account settings at all, honestly, today. I know that was also on my list of things to do. I think we talked about, I was looking for keyboard shortcuts instead of having to click through the phases. But I did not get a chance to go in there and look at those. So I have not turned on detailed logs. I've not been in account settings, honestly, in much detail at all. I've adjusted the audio, and that's about it. So that's probably something that I need to just spend the time to do. So his hand is not great. We do have Pack Leader on turn 2, Lotus, Cobra, plus another land to ramp on turn 3, but the only thing I'd really be ramping to right now is double Blizzard Brawl. I'm going to keep under the assumption turn that on helps the plugins access deck info. Okay, so if the commands are not working, that's something that maybe I can do to troubleshoot later on tonight. I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand under the assumption that if I'm not playing against mono white, I'll have time to draw into more things, but this hand seems very reasonable against mono white, and I would like as much advantage in that matchup as possible. Okay, looks like the mono green mirror. The Blizzard Brawls are also very good in the mono green mirror, but I would prefer to use the Lotus Cobra next turn to ramp into something better. Well, I'm obviously not ramping to a 6-drop this turn, but the Huntmaster is going to be very good in the mirror match. I am incentivized to kill his ramp spell since I'm not ramping, nor do I have anything to do for a while. Um, because of that, if I'm going to kill it, I may as well kill it pre-combat for the extra damage. So let's go ahead and do this. And he did not like that plan very much. Okay. I don't know. Maybe he didn't have another land in hand. Maybe he just really doesn't like Blizzard Brawl, and I don't blame him. The card's kind of, you know, everywhere right now. So maybe he's just tired of playing the mirror matches. I'm tired against playing them against mono white sometimes. I slog through it, but you know it definitely gets under my skin sometimes, and I try not to concede too early. I think there's always percentage points to be had until you're dead. So, but I don't fault him at all for going ahead and just moving on. Yeah, definitely. I think could have been just a bad hand for sure. All right, so very quick game one, 5-1 currently, and gonna keep going. So Ramus, since you were here yesterday, I think I changed this today. It's kind of hard to keep up with the things I've changed at different points, but I noticed when I actually played some of this back that the chat was not set to disappear after a set amount of time, so it was just kind of cluttering up the screen and laying over a lot of the opponent's lands sometimes. So it appears to me now that it's disappearing appropriately, so I think I fixed that, but just let me know how it looks for you, because it's not really evident to me on the screen that I'm looking at when I look over. This hand's not great. Honestly, I think I'm going to mulligan this hand. I got 2 ramp spells and nothing to ramp into, 2 things to fight with, but nothing really good to fight with. So, okay. Here, I'm putting back the 6-drop. I mean, it's very ambitious to assume that I'm going to get to 6 unimpeded with this hand with 2 lands. And the Rangers class does at least provide me with, you know, something to do with the mana if I don't draw better things. So it looks fine. There's no clutter. Beautiful. I have been on the play, I think, every game this event. 3rd Rangers class. And playing against Black Snow, it looks like. So that's obviously very advantageous. I've gotten very lucky. One thing that I'm not sure about Untapped.gg, I'm hoping, I haven't looked at the statistics after playing any games, but I'm hoping that it keeps track of wins on the play versus, you know, wins on the draw. Ramus, do you know if MTG Assistant does that? If it does, and I found out that Untapped.gg doesn't, that would definitely be a reason for me to possibly want to try out something different. Okay, so he played a white. I'm not familiar with what the white splash would be for. If this is indeed a Blood in the Snow deck splashing white, like I assume it is, seeing this Shambling Ghast. So I'm a little off book already. I'm not sure, I think it is, but haven't explored it fully. Okay, right on. Yeah, I'm assuming it's just a removal heavy deck, but you know, there's no real reason to play another Ranger class over the pack leader, so it's just a question of, do I want to pump the Rangers class already in play or play the pack leader? I think I want to pump the one already in play because it allows me to swing through the Ghast and not lose the Wolf. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Not hitting a 3rd land is obviously not ideal, but I mean, you know, we have a lot to do with our mana, so we're going to do the best we can until we draw some more lands. So this Black Blood in the Snow deck, oh, turn 3 Kaya. Now, I'm still getting familiar with the cards like we talked about on a previous stream, so I'm going to have to read this. I know it does something with like returning creatures to play. When it dies, put it in exile, return it to hand, and create a 1/1 flying. Exile target non-land, which is what he did. Or you get an emblem. Okay. So do you know, does the Kaya deck actually run stuff in the sideboard? Like, is the intention with Kaya to ultimate it and like play big things out of the sideboard for free, or is that kind of just one of those ultimates that doesn't really ever happen and they just use it for the repeated creature coming to play abilities or whatever, and creature removal. If anybody knows, let me know. I've never played against Kaya before, so I'm kind of unfamiliar with what I'm trying to game plan with her. I'm still assuming their deck is full of removal and or chump blockers, so yeah, eye twitches for lessons and all that kind of stuff. So I am going to have trouble getting to this Kaya. I guess I can brawl to kill the Kaya if they don't have a removal spell. That's a lot to ask against black-white with 3 mana open and 5 cards in hand. But the opportunity cost is pretty low. The only other thing I'd be doing with my mana is playing another Ranger class. I guess the problem with that is if I try to brawl to kill the Twitch and he kills the pack leader in response, then without having drawn the 3rd land still, I'm not going to be able to even play another creature to pressure the Kaya next turn, which is really scary. But with me not drawing land, I don't think I have the ability to really play around what he might have. I just got to enact the only game plan that I think might give me a chance to win the game, and I hope his hand just lines up poorly against it. Okay, so mostly just used for removal. Got it. Okay, I'm fine with that. He gets to learn. He was going to get to do that anyways. Oh, he had gone up? I thought he had gone down. Oh, that was last turn. He did go up. So that was a poor play. I had not realized. But once again, I'm just not used to playing against this card, so we're still going to go over here. I guess they're going to chump with the 1/1, obviously. Yep. But, I mean, it's not a worst case scenario because they did not actually kill the pack leader, which means we should... I'm assuming this is... Oh, this can't even hit the Rangers class, so this is definitely going after the pack leader. Okay, so if he wants to, he can definitely kill the only thing that I have threatening the Kaya. It's a sorcery, so I'd have to do it now. But, yeah, he knows he's got another chump blocker, so he doesn't really have any real incentive to do that. Go in a shower and stuff, and I'll be back. Okay, yeah, right on. See you soon. Okay. I accept. He's just doing dirtily things. The white splash seems pretty good, honestly. It fits really well with what the mono black deck is already trying to do, which is just play all these little speed bumps that really just get in the way of anything that doesn't have trample. Troll is really good in this matchup, and I only have 2 of them currently because of my wild card situation, so I am at a disadvantage. Clearly that's not my only disadvantage this game. Drawing a 3rd land at any point would be ideal. I think it might be time to try and start high rolling, and what I mean by that is like Rangers class is probably better if I don't hit another land in the next couple of turns than Lotus Cobra, obviously, because it's a 2/2 instead of a 2/1, and I can put it on level 2, but I'm kind of to the point where if I don't draw a 3rd land in the next turn or 2, I don't think I have any chance to win this game. So playing the Lotus Cobra means that I have higher upside next turn. If I draw a land, I'll be able to actually play the Chariot, and I think that's my best chance at still winning this game. So that's what we're going to try and do. He decided the same thing. He said, nope, Lotus Cobra is the only way you're coming back in this game, so I'm not going to let you have it. Lawleth is pretty much the nail in the coffin here. They just have so much dirtily stuff. I have no way to get through any of this. I do draw the land. I said earlier I don't normally try and fight the good fight, but I don't think there's any fight left in this game. I have no way to remove all these little chump blockers and get to these planeswalkers, and they're just going to be insurmountable. I do believe, you know, obviously the Huntmaster would be amazing on this board, but you know, I'm never getting a 6 mana, and I'd have to start killing the Twitches anyways, and they would, I'm assuming, have a way to kill it in the learn board. So we admit defeat, we move on. Unfortunate. Sometimes you keep speculative hands and you don't get there. I don't think I would have mulliganed again though, given the same hand again. But I don't know. 5 and 2, back up against the wall. We have to win the next 2 to get to 7 wins. Always like to get to 7 wins. Obviously 7 wins is always the goal. I'd like to win at least this one to get to the guaranteed 2 rares set completion, or continuing to build sets, or just the collection in general for standard is pretty important. So pretty good curve here, 2, 3, 4, 5. The lands to at least get me to tracker. If I don't hit a 4th land, I have the clue, plus once again the pumping and ranger class. I mention that every time that I have Ranger's Class in my hand. I don't know if it's because it is that valuable or if I'm overvaluing it and keeping hands that I shouldn't because I'm leaning on Ranger's Class to bail me out when maybe I should be mulliganing more of those hands. So I started to think that might be the case last stream, and I'm continuing to monitor that. Kind of just might be one of my own misconceptions about the hands that I keep. So we're going to keep an eye on it. But right now I'm happy to see that he didn't play a 2-drop. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. Once again, I'm going to play this tracker pre-combat just to make the clicks easier. It's technically, you know, maybe not quote-unquote correct because I'm giving away information, but he already knows I'm playing a 3-drop because it makes no sense for me to not pump up the Ranger's Class if I'm not going to play something else, and he really has no interaction regardless of what I drop, unless his list is very unusual. Okay, just drops a 3. So I am kind of interested in just playing the Mammoth and brawling and getting in just to really put him on the back foot. I was on the play and he had no 2-drop, so I'm pretty incentivized just to try and get him dead. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Chariot. Yep. Okay, so it didn't hit the 4th land drop, or excuse me, the 5th land drop, which is a little unfortunate. The downside of the play that I made is the first one to attack with a chariot is pretty advantaged, and I gave up my ability to be the one to do that in order to make the play that I did. I still think it was worth it, but now I have to be pretty careful with what I do. I don't have a land drop, so I honestly can't even attack with the Mammoth. It's not the best, but I think I just attack with the tracker and play the chariot of my own. I still think we're okay here, but I would have much preferred to hit a land this turn. I do think that at 7, he's going to have a pretty good play in order to be able to attack with his chariot. Yeah, because He has to make sure to leave up enough blockers to be able to stop me from hitting him back for lethal, and he decided he couldn't do that. So happy we got to 6 wins. Obviously, we're going to go into this last one hoping to win that too, but I'm not as worried about the gold. I may not be the win rate in which I'm actually gaining gold by playing these standard events, but I'm definitely losing gold more slowly than I'm actually gaining it to the dailies. So I'm not in any fear of running out. Like, it may affect my ability to draft quite as often if I'm throwing away a little bit of gold, but I'm also gaining cards that I wouldn't get normally if I was just playing ladder or ranked or whatever it's called. So pretty happy to be doing this, and once you're in an event, you always want to go for 7 wins, right? So that's what we're doing. So I've got a couple drop frames. So let me know, guys, if it appears to be getting choppy. I've not had any problems with it for the most part, but it's something to keep an eye on, just so I know how things are going. This hand, boy. I think this is a keep. I play the Mammoth on 1. The Rangers class off the Snow Covered Forest on 2. I am playing first again. I tell you, I have played. I'm gonna have to go back and watch and kind of look at how many times I was on the play. I think every win at least has been on the play. I'm not sure about my losses. When this hand is not perfect, it would be if this was a forest, so it enabled Blizzard Brawl, it would be, but. It's very serviceable, and we're gonna roll with it. Ooh, what is this? Okay, so probably blue-red. I think that they normally play a couple of Spitefield Caves. I don't know what else does, but if it's not blue-red, we'll find out shortly, I'm sure. The Brawl is probably not very good, unless this is the Dragony variant, but I've seen a lot less of that lately. Everybody wants to take all the turns. Nobody wants to attack with eggs anymore. And to be fair, I never felt unfavored against the Dragons deck. Blizzard Brawl is amazing against egg, and it's not terrible against Goldspan. It's much worse in the more combo-y version. Do we walk a tracker into Jwari Disruption, or do we just level up the Rangers class? That is a great question. I don't know the answer to. I think with the tracker being my only additional threat, I'm not interested in playing into Jwari Disruption. I think sometimes you can if your hand is very threat dense, but this is not that hand. Obviously, it would suck to get the token bounced at this point, but it didn't happen, so there. Obviously, it could only be Fading Hope. Even this turn, he can't divide by 0 the tokens, so that's a plus. Okay, so he does possibly have Saw It coming. No, what's it called? Yeah, Saw It coming. And so I still don't know that I'm incentivized to play the tracker. The reason for that is I'd like to have something to play on turn 4 to make him counter that, in order to make him make a decision between countering or playing Memory Deluge. However, as the game is playing out, playing a second creature into the turn he might untap and just play Burn Down the House is not great either. So I think I'm just going to jam the tracker this turn. If it gets countered, so be it. If not, I get to attack with it at least once before it dies. If he divides by 0, that's obviously not great for me. It's pretty much just a remand, but I still get in for 4. Yeah, that's kind of worst case scenario. But if I don't do this, he can just divide the Rangers class, and that's also not great for me. I only invested 3 into the tracker. I would have to invest 4 to get the Rangers class back to where it was, so I'm pretty fine with him dividing by 0 the tracker. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. So we have no pressure. He has the opportunity to untap and burn down the house. It's still only a 1-for-1 if I play the tracker out. Honestly, I could play the tracker and the Rangers class. I'm not normally interested in leveling up Rangers class in this matchup because of how easy it is for him to bounce it and set me back all the way. I think I do need to play both of those, despite maybe going into a sweeper turn. Next turn, if he does sweep me, I can level up the second Rangers class, activate the Haven, and still hit for 6. So I think that is just fine. Let's see what he's got. It's also possible if he burns down the house, I'm just supposed to slam Huntmaster. Because he'll have to presumably tap out again to deal with Huntmaster, and then I can still attack with Faceless the turn after that. But if he doesn't deal with Huntmaster, it's just going to kill him more quickly. Playing a tap land there is interesting. Because it means he could still have burn down the house next turn. Notably, burn down the house does not deal with the Tovolar Huntmaster. Does this only cost 1? It does only cost 1. The thing about that is, if he does peel an untapped land and has a second Spike Field Hazard, that will do the 6 damage to the Huntmaster to kill it. I guess it would have to be an untapped red source, and he would have to have another Spike Field Hazard, which we know he didn't have. Well, I guess if he had both in his hand, he could have chosen to play this instead. I guess that's a very narrow line. I think I'm just hitting him for 3 and slamming the Huntmaster. Honestly, if he has a second Jawari Disruption in his hand, though, which does seem like it could be the case, yeah, I don't think I'm actually doing that. So I'm going to activate this, and I'm going to get in with the Haven. This is weak to Fading Hope. Let's see, how do I want to distribute counters? I think I want to encourage him, if he is going to bounce something, to bounce the token, because I don't want to get set back on land. So we're just going to make this a 4/4. The one downside of that, if he is going to burn down the house, okay, that's fine. Oh, so he is going to kill the land. Yeah. Okay, well in that case, at least I get him for 4, put him to 11. Now if he burns down the house, it kills the 4/4, but it's kind of just trading 1 for 1. And I would be able to have slammed Huntmaster. Oh no, I won't now because he killed the land. Okay, so need to draw a land. I have a tapped land. So if I don't draw an untapped land, I play the Florahedron as a land, and I just go up to level 3 on the Ranger class. But yeah, presumably he's also got to deal with this 4/4 at some point. If he allows me to attack again, it will get outside of burn down the house range, which he is going to let me do. So he's looking for a bounce spell. He's got plenty of those, so it's not like he's in terrible shape here. But what did he end up exiling that he couldn't use? Just the 1 island. Okay. I'm not interested in playing Rin because burn down the house deals damage to both creatures and the planeswalkers. Apparently he didn't have anything to do with the token. I don't know. I was not going to kill him that turn. I could only get him to 1, even if I did attack with the Faceless Haven, which I'm not even sure I was going to do. I don't know. I guess it was probably the right play. Maybe it was silly of me not to even be considering anything else, because if he presumably did have to spend a lot of mana to deal with the 6/6 token next turn, he might not have been able to also easily deal with the land. So we got there. 7 wins, always exciting. So let's see what we got. No mythics. I've been on a mythic free streak for a little while, but that's okay. Spear of Annihilation. How do we feel about this card? When I saw this card for the first time, I actually thought it was really good. And then almost like immediately after, like a few weeks after, they spoiled Meat Hook Massacre. And I said, well, never mind, this card's garbage because obviously Meat Hook Massacre is just amazing. But it's kind of like a delayed engineered explosives, right? But oh no, it's or less, so it's more like a delayed pernicious deed. But it also kind of discourages your opponent from playing stuff for that turn if it's all, you know, of that casting cost or lower, which is interesting, right? Because it doesn't stop things if they're playing out on curve. So, you know, if I play X equals 3 and they drop a 4-drop, they don't care. And I'm still going to sweep their little stuff, but they'll be able to be attacking me again next turn. But against something like mono white, where, you know, their curve kind of stops at 3 for the most part, you know, it's really kind of like a pernicious deed with a built-in time walk, right? So I don't know. I thought this card was really good, and like I said, then they printed Meat Hook Massacre, and nobody ever, I think, played this card in a constructed event ever again. So it is also an artifact. You know, back in my day when when artifacts, especially 1-mana artifacts, meant that you just fetched them out with Trinket Mage, this would have been something that I would have been really into as some part of some dirtily deck that, you know, tutored out a Trinket Mage and then killed everything and then recurred the Trinket Mage with something, and like, I don't know, it'd have been part of some jankiness. But this card looks really fun to me. I would want to play this in something at some point, but I don't clearly have the collection to do it at the moment. Sludge Monster is not going to see any play ever, but I mean, it's a 5-mana 5/5 with upside in blue, which is, it's just crazy to me to think about how good creatures are now compared to, you know, how they used to be. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Anyhow, that's the league. I keep calling them leagues, the standard event, as they say in Arena. We're going to go ahead and take a short little break. I'm going to run and refill my water, and yeah, we'll be back, and we'll do at least one more. Okay, we're back. Welcome back. I've still got 3 viewers. I didn't lose any viewers over the break, so you guys are in it for the long haul. Unless you're bots, and then you just are here because somebody's computer told you to, I guess. But I guess that's okay too. I don't know. I still don't know anything about the bots. I'm enamored with the with the possibility that I might have garnered the attention of a bot, I guess. But anyways, we're going to jump back into another standard event. And off we go. Quatos. This hand is not great. No 2-drop. We have enough mana that we could play the Mammoth on 3, but even then we don't have a 4. And double 5-drop is not where we want to be. So we're going to mulligan, and the opponent's going first. So maybe last league was the league where I go first every game, and this league is the pendulum is going to swing the other way. This is fine. 2 into 3 into 4. I don't have a troll in my hand, so I think I am going to throw a Snow-Covered Forest back to ensure that I have an extra bit of value off the Faceless Haven as well. My opponent kept his 7, plays a Snarl, and we're playing against Black-White. Black-White non-snow. So the only Black-White non-snow deck that I know is possibly Angels, which I think lines up very poorly for me. So we're going to hope that's not what he's doing. We hope that he's doing something different. So, and it's Angels. Well, can't win them all. This is almost assuredly a terrible matchup. His stuff gets, it's all got big butts to begin with. It gets bigger just as fast as my stuff, and eventually, you know, I just kind of get overrun. Not having a 3-drop gives me a little bit of hope, and I think I am going to play the Mammoth this turn as opposed to the Tracker. Vigilance is not nearly as important when his stuff flies, and I do have at least 1 turn of the Mammoth being a 5 power attacking creature, so pretty incentivized to do that. Is there any reason for me to do that before attacking? I don't know. I honestly don't know what this deck plays. I'm giving away once again that I have another play if I'm not leveling Ranger's class, but I think since I don't know this deck as well as the Monogram Mirror, I am going to go ahead and attack before playing Mammoth just to see what he does. It is possible that maybe there's some card that would encourage me to play the Tracker instead of the Mammoth. I guess that would be the big reason to do that. But it looks like he just wasted 3 mana, so I'm happy with that. He can just do that again on turn 4 if he wants. I would be completely fine with that. Okay, so far so good. I mean, you could totally have instants here. I don't know the cards in that deck well enough. It's mostly creatures though, right? Creatures, and like there's the enchantment, the Saga that makes angels tap to kill things, and I mean, I'm sure it's running black removal, so I'm sure there's just, you know, the normal Poison the Cups and Infernal Grasps and whatever else he's got, but I'm happy to just go ahead and play the land, attack for 7, and post-combat play a Chariot, so that's what we're going to do. The alternative would be to also attack with the Haven, but since we're not probably finishing him next turn, I think having the Chariot is just going to be better, especially since if I hit a land, I can do the whole Chariot into Ren thing, which is obviously something this deck is known to do. It's also possible that my next turn, if I draw land, is going to be better spent kicking an Inscription of Abundance, depending on what he plays. I mean, I can't believe he's passed on 3 and 4. What the heck does that do? Oh, it's like the... Oh, man. Yeah, it's the... I don't even remember the name of the card. There's an enchantment, the black enchantment. Whatever the original was. God, I'm so terrible at card names from 20 years ago. How dare I not be able... Grave Pact. I got there. I got there, boys. We did it. Yeah. I would have loved to have been able to kill the 1/3 before that landed. He's pretty incentivized just not to attack now and just turtle up. Yeah. So I have to attack around that. So I'm more interested in getting things on the board than I am pumping them up. Like I would prefer to just win in one attack now, where I just go wider than he is, and deal my damage, and then anything that I have to sacrifice doesn't matter because he'll be dead. To that end, I think Ren is still the better play here. I think I am gonna swing in with. If I swing in with Chariot, the problem is that I'm gonna have to I lose the Chariot, and I'm gonna have to sacrifice a cat. Actually, you know, I don't know why I'm talking about playing Ren. I didn't hit a land. So yeah, we're playing Tracker. That's what we're doing. That's the moral of this story. And yeah, that's kind of it. I'm hoping to find some turns where I can put more than one creature on the board, because he's assuredly going to play at least one creature a turn. I'm pretty sure he's just not going to attack anymore unless he's going for lethal either. I don't think he's going to try and get it for chip damage, because that just kind of enables my plan. Yeah, this card is also very good. I don't have any recursion, so the second part doesn't matter, but the when his stuff dies, coming back to hand makes him a very grindy boy. Okay, Brawl is not the best because, once again, any creature I kill of his, I'm going to have to sack something of mine. It does mean that I can kill one of his larger blockers and just sacrifice a 2/2. Yeah, this is not great. I can't even add a creature to the board this turn because I once again didn't draw a land. It's got 3 blockers to my 6 attackers if I attack with everything. So he takes 6, goes to 5, but my board is now nothing. Yeah, that just seems not great. I think I'm just leveling up Ranger's class. I think into turn I might have to... Actually, if I'm going to do this, I should do it now just to try and draw the land. I don't like this, but okay. Honestly, if I was going to do that, I should have done it before pumping the Ranger's class, because given that I drew a 2-drop, I'd have much rather had the pack leader in play than have the Ranger's class on level 2. I wasn't attacking this turn anyways. Okay. That's not a normal card in this deck that I've seen. It's kind of mopey. Like the Angels are expensive cards, so you're not playing 2 cards in a turn very often. That is probably the make X 4/4 Angels, which he can do for 3 next turn. So yeah, this is pretty much over. We'll make sure that that's what it is. There's been some weird Foretold cards on me here lately. There was a deck that played a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, and then you know, I played enough stuff to keep pace, and then he Doomscarred us both. So you never know. I'm gonna make him show me that this is the 3 Angels that he can make next turn, and then we'll go ahead and give it up and move to greener pastures. But it's possible that he's just foretelling a Doomscar or something. And maybe there's another white foretell card that I don't know about because I've never seen it see play before. Yeah, there's a world in which I fight. Well, I'd have to do it on my turn. And then, yeah. No, I don't think we're there yet. Okay. Oh boy. This does give me hope. Especially, I could draw the one of a natural growth. Boy, wouldn't that be something. That would almost assuredly be enough to kill him. Yeah, I'm just obviously taking this. He's got me dead next turn, but you know, good for him. That seems... Wait, what gained life? What has lifelink? I know this has lifelink. Oh, this also has lifelink. Okay. I still think that's. I think the attack with this person is not great. Like, it only takes 4 life to gain a 4/4 angel. The Lysa by itself does that, so I think attacking with this was a mistake. But obviously, this has vigilance, and attacking with this is free because you get a blocker anyways. So he's only down 1 blocker from where he would be at, and yeah, we're not getting there. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and call it. I'm just dead on the swing. Tough match. I'll go back, and when I watch this game, I'll probably come up with some line that I missed that would at least give me a chance in that game. But that matchup has got to be great for them. So we played against a black-white, what was her name? The Planeswalker. And then we played against black-white angels. Wide variety of off-meta black-white decks that I'm being exposed to tonight. I have played against the angel deck before. It's not that often, but I have seen it. The Kaya deck I had never seen before. Looked pretty interesting. Doughy Delights. It's not the best hand in the world. I think I am going to keep. I think I will play the Cobra on 2, even though it's not going to get any advantage. I might die. Even if it doesn't die, I don't have anything to ramp into right now, so I'd still just play the Tracker. It does enable the turn 4 run, though, with the lands that are in my hand. It's not the greatest hand in the world, but I think it's definitely a keep. And once again, I want it noted for the record, I am on the draw. So my theory that the whole last league I was on the play, so the whole this league I'm going to be on the draw, is still in full effect. White, but without snow and not a normal mono white creature. I think this is the life gain, pump your creatures cleric class kind of deck, probably white-green. I have a version of this deck that also runs black as well. I think I'm pretty favored early, but if I let the game go too long, he's going to outscale me. That card, though, I think that card was in the starter deck, and I quickly replaced that. This is not a good card. Any card that relies on you drawing multiple copies of the same card and doesn't allow you to play more than 4 of that card are not going to be very good. So I'm almost assuming that this is the actual starter deck that he's playing. Once again, just like when we ran up against the Brushfire Elemental last time, we're not going to take it for granted, you know, but we are somewhat on alert that this might be less than ideally built, probably due to this being a new player, which is obviously fine. You know, we want everybody to come and have a good time, but it does mean that unfortunately I'm gonna feel bad playing rare after rare after rare when he's playing, you know, for all intents and purposes, you know, cards that I wouldn't even put in my draft deck, quite honestly. So what are we doing here? I don't think we're even playing the Cobra now that we drew the additional 2-drop. We just have another Florist. We're just gonna Old Growth Troll and honestly not even attack with the Wolf. Yeah, well, you know what? No, that seems silly. I think I'm gonna attack with the Wolf. Like, he's gonna start to grow this Unruly Mob, but I mean, the other cards are not trading favorably with my board, so if I have to trade one card for this and then the rest of the things are just dying, chump blocking a 1/1 into a 2/2, that's another I mean, honestly, it just seems like a very new player, right? You're chump blocking when you're at 20. You're attacking a 1-1 into a 4-3 just to gain the life and put a 1-1 counter on your unruly mob. I think this is a fairly new player, and he's got some things to learn about how the pace of the game, is dictated by things like, board presence and card advantage and things like that, as opposed to just, what the cards say they do and, oh, that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and play the Cobra. No, not even play the Cobra. We're just going to pump this up. We're going to attack. We're going to put the +1/+1 counter on the Trampler. Yep. So once again, I mean, I gave him this because I thought this was going to be more damage long term, and he didn't take it. And then we're just going to play another one. So I know that, okay, that's a good play. He got full value out of his Sunset Revelry. That's obviously good. And honestly, a reason not to block the 2/2. I don't think it's the best reason, but I'd rather me not have a 2/2 and him not have the 2/1/1s, or I would if I was him. But one thing that I don't necessarily like as much about Arena as I did MTGO, like I understand chat a lot of times is toxic, and there's good reason just to have emotes, especially when you're dealing with mobile clients instead of only PCs or whatever. But you do lose somewhat of the ability to talk to this guy and hey, are you new? Do you want some pointers? I'd be happy to look at your deck, and that sort of thing that I really think the MTGO community is able to do much better. So yeah, it might not be optimal, but I'm not interested in slamming, a mythic and continuing to do that. So we're just putting the next Rangers class up and attacking in. I guess I'm making these into 3/3s now so that they can trade with the Unruly Mob. He's just wanting to make a big Unruly Mob. He is all in on this Unruly Mob. Yep. There's the Cleric class. So he's gained a ton of life prior to this Cleric class coming into play. But he does have enough to pump it up to level 2 immediately. So I do have to be somewhat careful now when I do kill his stuff, because he will gain a life for each one of those that leave play, and that'll start pumping his things. However, right now, the only thing that could leave play is his 5/5, and he is going to protect that thing like it is the only thing left on Earth that matters, because if he loses that, he pumps his Phantom up to a 2/2, but he just traded a 5/5 for a 2/2, and that seems terrible. So yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna fire this up. We're gonna attack with the 3 of these, and we're going to put the 2 counters on the 2 of these. So I'm swinging with 3 5-power creatures, so any of them that he blocks with the Unruly Mob will trade. Now next turn, he's obviously got 3 cards in hand, so it might not be the only thing he's got going on, but he will be able to possibly bring something back from the graveyard this turn. I don't necessarily know what that is. I guess I'm playing another Rangers class. I don't know. Well, there you go. I was talking about that earlier, right? He played, 1-drop, double 1-drop, 2-drop, and then Wrathed. So Um, there you go. Sometimes you just get got. I'm still attacking him for 5, 6, 7, 8 next turn. So yeah, we're just gonna do that. Now he could remove this. He could have like a Faithful Absence or something. And if he did, you know, we'd be at card parity. I just have refused to play this Lotus Cobra throughout this whole game. I've had ample turns to do it and just have ignored it at every possible turn. It's okay though. Now this is a good card in the life gain deck. I like it a lot better in the versions that actually have more of the effects that gain life when creatures come. Like, he's got so much other stuff going on. It's not as focused. But in my build of the deck that is very focused, and literally every card in the deck either gains you life for creatures coming into play or gets larger for gaining life, I feel as though it is pretty good because it kind of gets out of control really quick. On the turn you attack with it, you get probably multiple life triggers for the 2 things coming into play, and then those things deal damage and then are, you know, life gain, and they trigger everything again. It allows you to scale up very, very quickly. I think I'm just cracking this clue here. Okay, so I'm going to make him chump block. Yeah, I think we're just playing a Chariot. There we go. So what are we getting back? Probably getting back the 4/4, right? Gains you the most life. I mean, it doesn't. Otherwise, it doesn't matter because you're just jumping again. Honestly, you're not. I mean, unless you have a 1-drop, you're just dead. But I guess not just dead. I mean, this is only going to be a 7-power creature, and you do have the 1-drop anyways. So there you go. Okay, and we play on. This deck, I mean, is not great, but it is. It's grinding, man. It's grinding. You know, it's all he's got to do right now. Just survive. I'm playing this pretty loose. Like I said, I'm not necessarily at any point been fearful that this was I was in danger of losing, and I don't know, maybe that's its own way of being disrespectful, right? I'm trying to, you know, maybe encourage them to, you know, kind of experience the deck and learn some lessons about things and that sort of thing, since I'm not able to chat with him directly. But maybe, honestly, he's got a 6/6. I don't know. We're just gonna play Ren. But yeah, maybe that's not. I don't know the etiquette, the MTG arena etiquette when it comes to these sorts of things. I have no idea. My intentions are good, so I guess that's what I'm gonna count on as far as. So I played the Ren, and I did not do anything with the Ren. This happened to me. I just did not understand why I wasn't making tokens with my Arlen the first couple times that I played her, and then I realized it's not like it happens when it comes into play. I actually have to activate the ability. So, yeah, here I am talking about, oh yeah, you know, he's going to learn these lessons, and I'm over here just, you know, playing poorly anyways. And I'm paying the cost. Now I can't make a Tree Folk next turn either. He's getting me, man. He's getting me. Yeah, he's going to be able to kill Ren. I mean, he just sets himself up to be dead, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving him enough credit. Maybe I'm just, maybe that's why it's disrespectful. I'm not giving him the credit he deserves, right? Because he's got some stuff going on now, boy. Yeah, I told you it scales later. It scales better in the late game than my deck does. We are gonna make him chump block 2 things this turn. Next turn he's gonna gain a lot of life due to this thing. So this thing does have vigilance, so I'm almost wanting to make sure I leave up enough mana to be able to activate this again to block. I mean, I guess he doesn't have to chump block the Chariot. He can still go to 1. He's going to gain, well, as it stands now, 4 life next turn. He does gain life if he blocks with the Stray to make something else bigger. I don't know. We shall see. If it comes down to it, then I think I am going to go ahead and leave the mana up to be able to activate Haven, and then after blocking with the Haven, I'll still be able to use the Haven to activate and get a Troll. Once I start pumping the Troll up and giving it Trample, it will allow me, you know, right now I'm losing out on a lot of damage because these things don't have Trample, so accept. So it's back up to 19, but we've successfully gotten rid of all the stuff that actually matters. So we're back in the driver's seat, but yeah, got a little dicey in the middle there. Got a little dicey. Love making copies of Trampling Trolls. I guess he could Vanquish again. If he Vanquished, I do have a few little things to refill with, and I could always just, you know, actually level up a Ranger's class to level 3. But I think he's called it quits. Good game, sir. Doughy Delights, I wish you the best in your continued arena battles. So yeah, let me know what you guys do in situations like that where it's clearly a newer player with a suboptimal deck. Do you just play Dream Crusher and get them dead so you can move on? Do you, you know, do what I did and kind of lax off a little bit and sometimes get, you know, a little spooked there in the middle, or do you do something different? I don't know. Either way, we're 1-1, moving right along. Debian 01. The 2-lander with the double 5-drop, 6-drop. Pretty sure that's going to be a mulligan. Okay, so 3 lands, double pack leader into Wrenn. This is either the Brawl or the Wrenn. I'm actually going first this game, so the streak is broken. I'm not sure which is better. You know, just once again depends on what we play. So my default in these situations is to keep the cards that are better against mono white, because I have much less of a chance to find replacements if that's the matchup we're up against, and anything else we have more time to kind of draw out of. So I kept the Brawl over the Wrenn for that reason. There are definitely matchups where the Brawl wouldn't do anything, and that's just okay, because if this is mono white aggro, you know, I'm probably going to die before Wrenn ever comes into play anyways, and I would much rather have the Brawl to give myself a chance. There's an argument for the other side of that coin, in which if this is mono white, which it seems to be, that I'm probably going to lose even if I keep the Blizzard Brawl, so I should keep the Wrenn, so I'm better off in the matchups I have a chance to win. So I can definitely see that perspective. I don't know which is better. So if you guys have an opinion on what you do in those sorts of mulligan situations, let me know. I'm open to ideas. Brutal. Living up to his name. I am going to be able to get it back, so that is good. The question is, do I want to be greedy and do it next turn when I can use the Brawl to get in with an attack as well and attack through something? Probably not, because that means I won't have the Troll to attack with next turn, and I think that seems better, but something to consider. Drawing the second Brawl is definitely good. I'm in for that. How's he got so many cards in his hand, chat? We have 1 card in our hand, and he's got a billion, including an Intrepid Adversary. So if I Brawl, I get in for 8, but he gains 4, so I really only got in for 4 anyways. I honestly think I'm better off just trading one of these creatures for the adversary. My hope is that he trades the Troll, and if he does, I'm actually able to play the Unnatural Growth. So we're going to try that. Okay, or I can just draw the land for the Troll, or for the growth naturally, so that's fine too. Oh wow, he's just taking it. Okay, so now the question is, do I post-combat Brawl? It's one of those weird post-combat Brawl situations. the natural growth, I don't know that I want to tip him off to the fact that I have a natural growth, right? Because if I can get him to, I mean, he has not had a lot of creatures. I mean, he could dump his hand next turn, and the unnatural growth wouldn't be great. And having it out means I do also get to activate the Haven. So I'm just gonna play it. I'm just gonna play it. Kill it if you can. What kills it? Another Cathar kills it. I don't think they run dedicated enchantment removal, so I think it is just another Cathar. And other than that, I guess he's just gonna. I mean, he can't race realistically. Even with the 4 life he's gonna gain off this adversary, that's 1 less blocker. And I'm just gonna attack for 1 billion if that's the case. Okay, so attacking for 6 in the air. I'm just killing it next turn with a Brawl though, so that's okay. And I think he's going to have to chump with this Sentinel. We also drew a Wrenn. So if I activate the Haven, we've got 2 8/8s and a 6/6. That's 24 total. He definitely has to block something. He won't kill anything that he blocks. I'm not dead to the swing next turn, so yeah, I think I'm just activating, and then actually he's just dead, isn't he? God, it must be getting late. I want to finish this league, but it must be getting late. I could just activate and then Brawl something, and then he's dead. There we go. We found it. We found it. Sometimes that happens. I feel like I've said this a couple times before, but sometimes having to describe fully thought out, you know, fully formed thoughts instead of just going through the process in your head slows you down. You know, it takes you longer to get through an idea, so it either is slower or you don't get through as many ideas, I feel like. But sometimes talking it out, you get a deeper understanding of what's going on that you would not have come to had you not been, you know, talking, had you just been on your phone or on the computer just sitting there staring at the screen. So it's got its pluses and minuses for sure, but I've been enjoying it so far. Hopefully you guys have as well. Another name that I cannot pronounce. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? We've got both a Mammoth and a Lair, but as of right now we don't have a Blizzard Brawl, so that really doesn't matter too much. I can play Mammoth on 1, Lair on 2, which means I have two drops, but one of them will be played on turn 3. I have a Chariot when I hit 1 more land, and then Tovolar is just kind of chilling there. If I don't hit more lands, it won't be relevant, but hopefully that means I'll hit other spells that I can be playing, and if I do hit lands, it's something great to kind of have already in hand so we don't have to go digging for it. I think it's a definite keep. This black deck, man. I wonder what flavor of the black deck. This seems the black snow, and sometimes not even snow, but just this kind of, you know, Ghast, Twitch, Skullport Merchant, the sacrifice things to make a treasure and draw 2 cards. That kind of shell has the most variety, it seems like, of any deck in Standard. I think even more so than like the Izzet Epiphany decks that have like the combo version and the treasure version, which is also kind of combo-y, but with treasures instead of just galvanic iterations, and then the dragons version. But yeah, this black deck, whenever I see a snow-covered swamp and then a Ghast, you know about 20 of the cards or so in there, but then the other, you know, 20 are just, they could be whatever. I think that's pretty cool, actually. It's a good kind of core of a deck, and then there's a lot of available options. including playing a Binding of the Old Gods on turn 3 and killing a pack leader, which is obviously a, a very good play. So we drew a 3-drop, so that's exciting. We don't have to play the Rangers class on turn 3 and waste a mana. We already have at least our Chariot at the ready, and hopefully we will draw an additional 1 or 2 lands to play the Wrenn and possibly the Huntmaster. Okay, so we got there on Wrenn. If we attack with both, he can double block and trade the 2 of these and the treasure, in theory, for the Shambling Ghast. I guess that's fine. Sure. Okay, so he just is going to make the treasure. That is also fine. He's going to make the treasure and draw some cards. He's going to get 2 treasures and draw some cards. See, just the cogs that this deck has, you know, the rate at which it churns through its cards is quite impressive. Okay, he's digging now. He lost his ability to swing with his 1/1 Death Toucher. I don't think that's it really is okay. I accept. So he kills my things. I'm still going to be able to Wrenn next turn, make a Tree Folk, and then I get the decision: do I want to copy the Tree Folk or do I want to copy the Clue? A lot of times, like if he has a Blood in the Snow, I mean, it's still not that bad for me, right? He hasn't played a Lawlith yet. The games that I lose normally entail Lawlith being played before the Blood in the Snow. So I think I can Wrenn here and just make a second Tree Folk off the Chariot activation.
The trees can fight their own battles.
If he does Blood in the Snow the 2 trees, then obviously he won't also get the Chariot, and I'll have the ability to start copying clues next turn. I did draw the 6 land, so I will be able to Huntmaster, use that to crew the Chariot if I need to, and go from there. So I feel like this is going well so far. Oh, he's a Storm the Festival build. Okay. Do you guys know, does the Storm the Festival build still even run Blood in the Snow? I would imagine not, right? You want to have as many hits for Storm the Festival as possible, so you're incentivized not to play other instants or sorceries. So I'm going to take that into consideration and not play around Blood in the Snow as much.
Exquisite.
Ooh. Boy, they got some value off that, didn't they? Yeah, we're still in trouble. We are still in trouble.
A gift in exchange for loyalty.
The Skeletal Swarming is going to get out of hand quick. None of my stuff tramples. Yeah, we're in trouble. I'm playing the Huntmaster just to play to the board, but he's still at 19. And like I said, Lawlith is so good against Wrenn. Like, Wrenn is just dead next turn, unless I'm going to give up all the advantage of these Huntmaster tokens to try and keep it alive. And even then, it means I'm not attacking with the Tree Folk. I guess I can attack the Tree Folk at Lawlith and make him block both or lose to Lawlith. And if he loses Lawlith, it's not as bad that I lose Wrenn. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And if we're going to do that, we want to do it before we show him that we have a Huntmaster. So this is at the end of his turn, right? Beginning of the end step, yeah. So if he has just another
Folks
skeleton to
aren't
play,
generous.
it's bad for me, but otherwise, my Ren is going to live, at least in the short term. Hitting the Faceless Haven is great.
Grows with tender care.
Alright. Oh wow.
My
Okay.
words
Going
for ambitious
not going down with Lawlith. That probably means he has a second Lawlith or a Sweeper. Or a Valky. Whiff. Go fish. So this is free. The reason I say it's free is if I block and kill one, he gets two, but he doesn't have the one that I killed. So, you know, I don't know what that was about. He definitely wasn't dead that next turn, but maybe he felt like he was far enough behind it didn't matter. Don't know. I don't know that going up with the Lawlith was the thing to do, but then again, I don't know what was in his hand. Happy to have taken that one down. That was when I saw Lawlith and Skeletor swarming off the Storm the Festival. I assumed we were not winning that game, and I'm not convinced that we were from the point. You know, from our perspective, it did not look lopsided enough to have him concede there, but maybe his hand was just not great. So practical research: draw 4 cards and discard 2 cards unless you discard an instant or sorcery. 5-mana instant is kind of where you want to be at for this sort of effect. Obviously, you know, Mystic Deluge at 4 mana only draws you 2, but it has you look at the 4, you know, the same 4 cards the first time around, and obviously that is flashback. This one you do draw the 4 random cards, and you can discard anything you want. You know, any 2 cards or an instant or sorcery. This seems fine to me, but it's probably just not mana efficient. The blue-red decks really do lean on their mana efficiency. Expressive Iteration is just such a good card. But even though it's a 2-drop, you want to play it on turn 3, and then Mystic Deluge fits really well onto turn 4, and then turn 5 is normally the turn that you've done all your digging on the previous 2 turns, and now you're really wanting to clean up whatever's on the board. So the Battle of Frost and Fire, I think is the name of the card. I think it's Battle of Frost and Fire, and or Burn Down the House are normally the 5-drops that do that. So that's really the problem I see with this card. Seeing play, just thinking about it from initial perspective, that would be my thought, is that it's just in a terrible spot on the curve. It doesn't do what you want it to do for that mana value. So probably not interested in trying to do anything with that anytime soon. And sitting at 3-1, we're going to go ahead and jump back in. Hey, Remus is back. Welcome back. Let's see. Remus, we are 3-1 currently, and looking at this starter, which is not great, not as terrible as the hands we were getting last night, but the hands today have not been super good. The event we played earlier, you know, our hands were much better. Our hands seemed to be better earlier in the day. I don't know why. Later at night, the shuffler doesn't like me as much, I guess. Or either that, or maybe I'm just grumpier in the evenings because I'm tired and cranky, and so I don't like the hands as much. I don't know. Maybe that's it. So once again, 1, 2, 3. Obviously not really a 1-drop, but the same rules apply as last time. I'm keeping the Brawl over the Ren in case I'm up against mono white. So once again, let me know in chat. Am I thinking about that correctly, or am I thinking about that backwards? Do you think I should be looking to squeak out a few advantage points against mono white, even though it's likely I still lose? Or is it better to keep the Ren so I have a more positive matchup against all the other non-mono white decks where the Ren is probably better than the Blizzard Brawl? So this is probably blue-red. I don't think blue-white or blue-black play. Oh, of course he proves me wrong. Apparently, at least this build of blue-white plays some Jwari Disruptions. Considering he played one, he might have a gotcha moment with a second one, but normally to me that means he's just light on land, and it looks like he might have it. Then again, he might just have Consider or Faithful Mending or Faithful Absence. So there you go. Obviously fine for me. Blue-white's tough. Blue-white's tough. They have counters. They have Doomscar. They have that 6 mana quadruple white spell that I can never remember the name of. That one's really tough because it wipes out class. It wipes out any of the tokens that I want to just leave around until I've emptied my hand in some meaningful way. That's probably the worst part about it. Yeah, I'm probably just running this into Assault Coming, and next turn I'm looking to play a Ranger's class plus level it up. Okay, so he's got the Faithful Mending. Starts kind of filtering his hand. Faithful Mending is very good. Double field, so he is not short on mana. Maybe he just needed the double blue, which is why he led on the Jwari, but he is not short on the lands. So this turn he could definitely have a counter. Maybe he just wasn't interested in countering the tracker. I don't necessarily have anything great to do, but I am incentivized to play the Ranger class before combat to get in the extra damage off of the tracker. I could also just fire up the Haven, but I think it's too early to do that. And my same strategy of giving him something to counter so he can't do Deluge on 4 is still in effect. So we are going to go ahead and Ranger class. I am going to play the land first, just in the weird scenario that he has, you know, 2 more Jwari Disruptions in hand. It would feel pretty bad. Okay, so he's just going to Deluge in response. This is fine. He was going to do that no matter what. He loses a little bit of value because he doesn't know yet if I'm going to pump the Ranger's class or crack a clue or just hold. So, you know, but he got most of the information he wanted, so obviously not a huge mistake there. I wouldn't even call it a mistake, but I would have waited. I just like to, in most scenarios, wait to the last minute just to make sure I get all the information that I'm going to have available to me before I make the decision on what cards I want to keep with the Deluge. So he does have a Hall of Storm Giants. He can't block with that next turn, but he will be able to block with it 2 turns from now. He now has the untapped mana to be able to kill a Faceless Haven, but if he does that, he's not playing anything else. Notably, he only has 1 white, so he is incentivized to probably play or to activate the field to get a second white at some point soon. I'm not fearing the quadruple white thing, whatever it's called right now at all, but I'm not interested in wasting a lot of mana to activate this when I know that that's what he wants to do anyways. So I am just going to play the Troll. I'll leave both of these up, and then I'll activate and sacrifice a clue probably at the end of his turn. But there's no reason to play the Troll pre-combat, so that way if he bounces the tracker, I can actually replay that and gain another clue if that's what he chooses to do with his mana this turn. So obviously going to attack. The Vigilance doesn't matter very much on the tracker because I don't expect him to play many creatures, so I am just going to diversify and add the counter to the Wolf. And he is going to bounce the tracker, so I am probably going to replay that instead of the Troll, because once again, the Trample is not really all that relevant in this matchup, because I don't expect him to play creatures, so I'm just interested in getting another clue on the board. So he didn't get full value, but it's not like I'm happy with that. That just means he already had more cards in hand than me, so that's already not the best. But I guess it is good that a lot of my cards are hidden on the board. Oh, I reset my laptop, and Cortana is now trying to talk to me to set up the laptop. I'm just going to close that and we'll deal with it later. There we go. Alright, opponent probably wonders what the heck I'm doing. Sorry about that, opponent. Sometimes life happens. So let's see, what do I want to do here? I'm not too interested in playing the Huntmaster into a possible Wrath effect. He does not have the Field of Ruin up this turn, nor does he have near enough mana to block with the Hall of the Storm Giants, so I am just interested in getting in with the Faceless Haven, and then post-combat I will be able to play another tracker. So even if that is extending into a Wrath, I'll gain the clue for it anyways. So that's the game plan. I will be putting the counter on the Faceless Haven, since it will obviously live through the Wrath that is probable at this point. Looking pretty good so far. Yeah, I think it's I mean, it's not going terribly, but I wouldn't say it's going great. We're at turn 6, I believe, and he's above his starting life total. So, you know, he's had a lot of interaction for me. I have not been able to really get through his defenses too much yet. Okay, so now he does have the, if he does nothing, I mean, on the one hand that's fine, but on the other hand he does now have Hall of the Storm Giants up to block. Even if he did though, he would take a ton of damage, if that is his plan, and then I can always finish it off post-combat with a Blizzard Brawl on something that got through. Honestly, the other option would be he has some sort of removal and he's able to Field of Ruin plus the removal. I think that's more likely with all the stuff he's got going on, so I think I might want to activate the Haven that does not have a counter on it yet. So if he kills that with the field, I still have the larger one. I think if all he's doing is firing up the Hall this turn, that I'm probably in pretty good shape. So I'm willing to hedge a little bit in case this is the game plan, because I think that's a little bit better against what we have going on. Yep. I will float this though. So it did auto tap, yeah, but I didn't have a land to play anyway, so that's fine. So I'll float this. So now he cannot block with the Hall anymore, so he's probably gonna have some more interaction. Maybe he just has a Faithful Mending, maybe he has another Memory Deluge, I don't know. I'm guessing he's gonna kill at least one of these. If not, I'm pretty happy with how things are going, but we're gonna go ahead and attack. And then post-combat we have to decide what we're doing. Oh, I lost the mana from the I was trying not to go and use my timeout, but we did. We lost the mana from the activation of the Haven when he tried to kill it, so we can no longer play a Chariot. I think because of that, I'm just gonna pass. I don't really want to play the Troll when I think he's gonna have to kill stuff next turn. And if I play the Troll, I won't be able to activate it in a turn to get the untapped Troll next turn anyway. So I think I'm just going to pop a clue at the end of his turn if it comes to that. Really surprised that he didn't do anything that turn. Like, I don't understand. At the end of his turn, Did he Fateful Mended? I guess he did Fateful Mended once. I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest with you now. I was too busy trying to figure out if I was playing the troll or not. Alright, so he's got me good, but I am going to be able to at least crack one of these clues. And on the swing back, he will be at 2. Unless he can bounce it. So the... okay. So the... what's it called? Fading Hope is obviously very good for him. Oh, he's tapped out. He foretold. So I can't get him dead, but I can play a Hunt Master. I don't know if that's better. Unclear. I think we're just attacking with this, putting him at 2 and playing a Ranger class. I would have loved to have drawn a land there, so we could have done this, but then instead playing a Zeeka's Chariot. That would have been ideal. So yeah, he's got some life gain. He's got a Hall of the, whatever it's called, Hall of the Storm Giant to block. I mean, clearly he needs more than just a block this turn. So yeah, I don't think he's at that point, but you know, he does have it on the board if and when he does find when he needs to stabilize and get more mana into play. Field is a good start. Kind of blanks my largest threat. Just a wolf on its own, even if I pump it with Ranger's class, is not lethal. That's obviously a good draw, so now I'm incentivized to make him use the Field of Ruin. And this turn I will be able to hopefully play a Chariot once he... I mean, if this Foretold card, or honestly even if either of the cards that I don't know about are saw it coming, then that's obviously not the best for me. But at that point I would still put him to 2, or I could choose just to Ranger class and put him at 1. I think we're going to start here, see what he does. Last time he killed this in response. He did not wait, so I'm assuming that's what he's going to do again. Yeah, so I'm going to float this. Try to remember to use it this time. That's probably ideal in this situation. Okay. So I can play this and then still play the Chariot. That's probably best, and then just swing to put him to 2. If he counters this, then... okay. So now the plan is play it again. Yep, that's fine. And play it again, and then play the land, and still pump up Ranger's class, put him to 1. Yep. We're going to try it. So now we've got 3 lethal attackers into his 2 unknown cards, along with his Faithful Mending. Yep. What did he discard? He discarded a Jwari Disruption and a land. Yeah. Epiphany inbound? I hope not. That's don't be a downer, man. Oh boy. Alright. He's only got 1 land up though? What does he have for 1 land? He's already played a land for the turn, hasn't he? Good God. Alright, let's take a look at this graveyard. What does he got going on in here? If he has not made a land drop, obviously Sunset Revelry is very good. Environmental Sciences, I don't think is as good as Revelry. He's also got Faithful Absent in there. I don't think he's got it. Very good. All right, we got there. That was a long, grindy game, but I think we paced our threats well there. I don't know. I'll be interested to see that one in the playback too. I know I've used the playbacks to really kind of go back and watch some of the games I know I haven't played well and identify where I played poorly. Sometimes I even identified later in the game that I played poorly, but just kind of seeing how long it took me to realize that. But I think this might be one of the games I'll go back and watch as well, because I think I played it pretty well. I think I kind of prepared myself for the cards that I thought he was going to have on certain turns, and I'd be interested to see if watching it back I feel the same, that I still feel as though I played well, or if there's still things that I identify that I could have done better in the sorts of games that I'm happy with too. So I'm going to try and remember to watch this one back. It's 12:30. We're at 4-1. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try and finish this league, but if we get into another slog fest of a game, I might have to call it. I am kind of starting to fade a bit, and I do have to be up to head into work in the morning, so we're going to hop back in. I haven't tried this. Back in my day when we were playing Paper Magic and Morph had just come out, one of the rules for Morph was that at the end of the game you had to reveal all your Morph cards, and I think the idea there was to ensure that you weren't cheating and playing Morph cards that actually weren't Morphs. So you had to reveal them all at the end of the game. This Huntmaster is not looking great here, but the rest of the hand is serviceable, and I think we're going to keep this. But, I would assume that in Paper Magic it would be the same thing. They'd want to ensure that you didn't foretell some card trying to bluff something, and then it just happened to be a land or something. So I would think that safeguard would still be in place. And I'm pretty sure on Moto that the morphs, it also just automatically revealed them at the end of the game. I haven't ever looked, but does anybody know off the top of their head, does it reveal the foretold cards on Arena, or since it doesn't let you foretell non-foretell cards, does it not reveal them at the end of the game? If none of that made any sense, because it was kind of circular and long and drawn out, I realize I might have been rambling a little bit, but like I said, it's 12:30. I'm a little tired, so bear with me. You don't think it reveals? Okay. So I have no reason to really ramp. I might be interested in ramping if I end up, wanting to jump from 4 to 6, but for right now I just have a good 2 and a good 3, so I'm happy with where I'm at. So now we see another black deck, this time red-black. It's still got a snow land, so I'm assuming it's still possible that it's black snow-based splashing red. The man lands oftentimes will be non-snow in whatever color they're in, but yeah, so 1 for 1, and we'll just we still have the actual class on the board. Now this is going to be, if it is a burn based deck, this is going to be hard to remove, but since they're also playing black, they could also just have non-damage based removal, which would obviously deal with this very well. So the one black red deck that I know does not play this card, so I guess this is not it. I was gonna say plays the little dragon with the little 3/3 thing that gets big predator, Emerson Predator, something like that. I don't remember the name, but that card is a house. That card often kills me on its own. I think that was the opponent's polite way of telling me to play faster. I accept opponent. So we have the ability to brawl. Am I wasting a brawl on this? Probably not. So I think I want to play the Tangled Florahedron for 5. I'm going to miss out on leveling the Rangers class this turn because I can Huntmaster next turn if the Florahedron lives. I don't think I'm supposed to kill this Alchemist. There's got to be something better in the deck that the Brawl can hit, right? I mean, Alchemist is such a weird card. It seems not great. Okay, and he is not killing my Florahedron with his Play with Fire. That seems ambitious. And I understand you're trying to be mana efficient, but if you just wait and untap with this, you're going to get extra damages in. So, unless he's got a ton of stuff to do with his mana, and it doesn't look like it with just 3 cards, I definitely would have not played that until my turn. But what do I know? I don't know when it's in his hand. I do know that he probably doesn't have a good way to deal with his pack leader, or not pack leader, Huntmaster. So I am hoping that he ignores my Florahedron for... Oh! So he's vampire. So this would have been a reason to kill the Alchemist, obviously. I just assumed it was just some sort of, you know, burn kind of situation, but yeah, makes sense. And now he's got an adversary as well. I accept. That comes in big and hasty. I do now have better targets for the Blizzard Brawl than the Alchemist. I think the damage is kind of done with the Alchemist. I really don't care about the 3/3 at this point once it's in play. I will just kill the Socialite, I think, to make sure that things don't get out of control on future turns. But this does mean that my Florahedron lives, and I am going to be Huntmastering next turn, so I'm still not killing anything next turn, to be quite honest. Unless I draw a Ren. That was literally, unless I draw a 5-drop, and then I can 5 plus Blizzard Brawl. So that is now the new plan.
Do not heed the trees. They prepare for war.
Alright. So we're ahead on board, we're ahead on life. Another Thermal Alchemist is fine. Another adversary is also fine. It means he can kill Ren if he wants, but I don't think he's going to win if he is attacking Ren. Yeah, because I'm just so far ahead. Yeah, we're just going to let Ren die. We are still going to eat something, though. No reason not to. But Ren is going to die here. And that is just fine.
We are wilting.
Okay, so even though it is going to reveal information, I'm going to go ahead and play the land. That way I do have Florahedron back as a blocker if it comes to that. I also don't have to reveal that until after combat, so it also just makes the tree folk bigger. I'm pretty sure it's chumping. I mean, these aren't doing very good when you're empty-handed anyways. Nope, he's just taking it all. Going to 1. So I guess I should have attacked with the Florahedron just to force him to at least block something, but I don't know. I think all roads lead to victory at this point. I accept your damages, sir. Yep. He's giving me the business. This probably means he's got a spell. He does, and it's a good one. He can't flash it back though, can he? What's that cost? It costs 3 to flash back, so yeah. Not bad, sir, not bad. Get some life gain in. So I think at this point, oh, no, undo. Can I not undo that? Is it, oh, come on. Oh, no, here we go. Z undoes. See, it tells me the tooltip on that one. That's nice. I don't want to tap it for mana. I would like to block. It tramples though, doesn't it? Yeah, actually, that's not what I want to do anyways. We're just blocking here and here. Okay. There we go. Down to 2 viewers. I've outlasted a couple. It's kind of been a marathon stream. Another uncommon Rune of Speed. Yeah, I don't know about these runes. I mean, I think they're limited only cards, right? I don't think any of the runes see constructed play. All right, so sitting at 5-1, feeling pretty good. So let's see if we can close out. Out of water again. It's a weird space, you know. I kind of, once you get into the flow of just playing games, I don't really want to take a break just to go get some water. Maybe I'll get better at kind of those structured breaks in between games in an event after I've been doing this for a little while. But I think for now I've really enjoyed, like, you know, just doing a little bit of chatting while I'm waiting for the next opponent, but then just jumping right back in. But maybe I need to get like a pitcher so I have some water to refill from once I come in here, so I don't have to go back out to the kitchen. I've been told water is important. Yeah, I've heard something similar, Remus. I think we might be on to something there. All right, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're doing good. Good call on the water. I like it. So no 2-drop. What is up with these guys not... this is the second or third mono green mirror that we've gone first and played a 2-drop, and they just haven't done anything on turn 2. I'm not going to be able to punish them near as much if I don't start drawing land, but yeah, for right now, pretty happy with him not playing anything. So next turn, if I don't draw a land, I'm obviously cracking the clue, looking for a land. I'll also be attacking with the pack leader and the tracker to draw a card. I don't really care what they play this turn. Even if they play a troll so they can eat the pack leader for free, I would still be interested in doing that. This looks like a Blizzard Brawl on probably the pack leader. Nope, he's decided tracker is more important. Okay, I accept. So I will not be able to draw a card anymore with the pack leader. Luckily, I got there on the 4th land anyways, so I don't have to crack a clue looking for the 4th land, which would have been the plan otherwise. So this is a pretty easy get it in, then play the chariot, and just keep hoping to draw a couple more lands in a row, so we can hopefully close this out pretty quick. Since I do the chariot, you know, obviously that puts 2 dudes on the board, so even though I had a brawl, I have a pretty big board presence, so if I hit a 5th land next turn, the unnatural growth is probably going to be something that is going to give me an insurmountable advantage. If I don't hit the land, once again, you know, if I don't draw a land or something better to do, I still have the pack leader. I can also crack the clue looking for a land, so I'm set up for next turn. The dog is winning. I think after this game, no matter what, I am going to take a break, go get some more water, and take him out. Okay, I'll trade a token for a Blizzard Brawl, one of his better cards in the matchup, and he burnt it on a token. I don't think that's the best use of that. It does ensure that I cannot activate Chariot, but I'm not activating Chariot into, well, to be fair, if he doesn't Brawl, it's only a 3/3, so he just wants to get some damage in. He's trying to race, though. I mean, he's tapped out now. I'm attacking for, even if I can't activate the Chariot, I'm attacking for 5, and he's losing this race pretty badly. Okay, so I do draw the land. Yeah, I think I just growth this turn. I attack him for 10, put him to 4, draw a card, and just I don't think he can win from there. And luckily this game is going pretty quickly because the dog has decided all of a sudden it's very important that he go out. He's giving me the business for just sitting here and ignoring him. He's giving me them sad puppy eyes and the whinings. I don't know if you guys can hear the whinings from where you're at, but he's doing his best to make me feel real bad about ignoring him. Oh, it's just one. I have one. He's a mutt. He's definitely part lab. We also think he's probably part boxer as well. But we just got him from a humane society, so not 100% sure. Okay, so he has one blocker here. Once I show him that I can activate the chariot, I'm pretty sure he's just going to scoop it up. And good game, sir. Unless I'm missing something. Nope. Okay, good game. So yeah, I shall be back in a second. Gonna go grab some more water and take the dog out. And we'll be back to hopefully finish off. Just realized I never unmuted, so we didn't get too far in before I realized that y'all couldn't hear me, but here we are. Now I just talked junk about not playing anything on turn 2, and here I am debating keeping a hand that doesn't do anything until turn 3. So I might get a dose of my own medicine here, but I am going to keep, at least I'm not on the draw. So I do have that going for me. I do think that not having a 2-drop, I'm able to at least play 1 forest, see what I draw, play the Mammoth on 2 if I don't draw a 3-drop, and then that does allow me to curve out on 3 and 4. I have a backup Chariot, which is great if they kill the Chariot, and if they don't kill the Chariot, that's obviously great too. So that's why I don't mind having the 4 of the Chariot, because, okay, and mono white, so maximum punished. But like I said, kind of a dose of my own medicine. I berated the last guy for not keeping a hand, or keeping a hand without a 2-drop, and then I go and do the same thing, and to draw a 3rd Chariot. So I deserve to lose this one. Yeah, which Chariot would you not like me to play next turn? I will not play that Chariot on turn 4. I promise. So drawing the Wrenn there is great. He obviously started leveling this up because he knows that, you know, trying to get through this Chariot and the Troll on the ground is not going to be great for him. So he's going to start going all in on this flyer, and being able to Wrenn next turn is obviously great. If he has a second Spellbinder, the game's going to get a lot harder, but yeah. And I am not really interested in attacking with this Old Growth Troll, I don't think. Yeah, I don't... Yeah... No, I think I am going to attack with the Troll. This might be a mistake. I have said many times before, I am not looking to be the aggressor in this matchup, but I feel like with this hand, you know, if he spends the time to pump one of these ground creatures to maybe try and get through the activation of the Chariot to eat one, then he's not pumping the Spellbinder, which I think should be his path to victory. Okay, double Aspirin is good. More flyers is good. This still means that I am online to play my Wrenn next turn, so can't say I'm mad at that. Having the second Aspirin is really bad for me though, because it does mean that even when I play the Wrenn next turn, I mean, if he puts both counters on the Spellbinder again, I'm just going to be chumping. That's not ideal. But I did not get punished for attacking with the Troll. He did not swing in with anything else, so that's great, obviously. Playing the Faceless Haven here does give him perfect information once I play the Wrenn, but I think there's no real way around that. I'm definitely activating the...
Come, Seven.
Actually, I'm not. So if I activate the... I was still thinking about attacking with the Troll in addition to the Chariot, but if I activate the Chariot off of the Troll instead and only attack with the Chariot, I'll be able to leave up both Treefolk, which means he won't be able to swing with the Spellbinder, and I think I'm very interested in that. I'm leaving the 2 cats back to block because it's just multiple bodies. I think that's going to be better for me, so I'm just going to submit with the Troll here. Really? I think this is a mistake. This is the only way you win this game. And you just allow me to trade 1 for 1. Like next turn, Well, no, because he knows I have a land, so it'd be 2 turns before he could swing through, and by then I might be able to make another. He knows I have another chariot too to make another tree folk. Yeah, I just think this game is going to be very hard for him to win. I don't think that swinging with the Spellbinder this turn was the way to do it, though. Unless he has a trick. Well played, sir. Well played. I'm not used to them having the instant speed trick. You know, normally it's just the Cathars and the Apparitions and stuff. But I've been seeing this card more. It seems pretty good. So maybe I need to start respecting that more. I'm going to keep that in the memory banks. So I obviously can't make a tree folk this turn, which is not great for me. He can put me dead. So that means I do need to play the second Wrenn. So we're going up first.
Every seed contains great.
Playing the second Wrenn. But unfortunately, it's going to have to chump block. Actually, no, it doesn't.
I will protect Innistrاد's forests as if they were mine.
But it's pretty close. And I'm not going to be able to have another chariot down in time. I mean, that trick was the difference between this being an easy game and this being a game that I don't think we can win anymore. And yeah, I guess that just is what it is. I don't think we can even afford to attack because, I mean, yeah, I am pretty incentivized to try and let this hit me once. And eat the 1/1 if that's at all available to me. Obviously, make me not be able to do that by just attacking with everything else. But we'll see what he does. Okay, so he kind of splits the difference. I'm not sure what the... And he attacks Wrenn with everything. So now I can just eat the 2/2 and let Wrenn die. And I mean, I'm still in terrible shape, but I'm not in as bad shape, I don't think. Okay.
Our fire must not escape.
So I was thinking the unnatural growth would have been really great here, right? Honestly, not even offensively, not to end the game, which still wouldn't be an option, but just defensively, it would make it so that I could block the Spellbinder no matter what. But since I can't do that, what am I doing instead? I think I have to get a chariot into play this turn so I can... Maybe he doesn't double pump this, and I can actually, you know, make a second tree folk next turn. That seems highly unlikely, and I don't have any way to gain life, but I gotta at least try, right? So we're gonna play a land. We're gonna play both the chariot and the tracker. And he's got 6 attackers plus a Haven, so I cannot swing with the troll. So oh boy. Oopa, oopa. Yeah, so the troll's in chump block mode. My best draw next turn is another Wrenn, so that I can take the active chariot and create 2 more tree folk. Failing that, I don't see how I win this game. Yeah, because the Blizzard Brawls don't even touch the Spellbinder, so clearly that's not an out, and I have no other removal in the deck. So I think it's Wrenn or bust here. Nope. Anything I'm missing? I don't think so. Good game, sir. I'll crack the clue. I guess that's what I'm missing. Could crack the clue. Redraw. Nope. Okay. Alright, so did not get there on the 6-1 game. So moving on to 6-2. for all the marbles. Definitely the last game of the night. So let's make it a good one. No more keeping hands without 2 drops. Be diligent. The investor. What does that mean? What do you invest in? Let's see. We have a 2-drop. We have 2 2-drops. That's exciting. So I think the class into Cobra plus level is obviously fine. We can 4 and 5 if the Cobra dies, or we can just 4 if the Cobra lives. So yeah, that's a keep. I believe the opponent has mulliganed once, is what it looks like. Yep. But it's mono white again. Oh boy. Okay. Yep. I think this is fine. I will trade if he swings in. I will definitely trade if he swings in. I accept, sir. So that definitely looks worse this turn than the tracker because I'm not able to leverage the 1/1 counter. But my hope was to play Rin next turn. That's obviously not going to happen now. So now this play looks awfully mopey.
Has become unbearable.
But sometimes you need a high roll against the mono white deck in order to win. Oh my god. So he's offering me the aspirant? God. I really want to get to 6 and now 7 mana. But man, this guy represents a lot of damages, right? I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I honestly think I'm trading. I'll either draw lands or I'll draw cards to play, but this is going to represent so much damage on the flyer that I just can't deal with right now that I think I have to trade. I have something to do next turn anyways, and then anything above that is just something that I can't be worried about yet. Yeah, Remus, you agree that's the trade you would have made as well? So the hits keep on coming. He's pretty incentivized to block because if he attacks, I'm going to block no matter what. I'm definitely playing the troll and not firing up the Haven here. I can also crack the clue end of turn. Well, maybe. I would only do that if I was reasonably sure I was going to be able to Huntmaster the next turn because that is my only token right now. But either way, I'm going to start by attacking. Oh, right. Yeah, he's not trading, obviously. Never mind. I forgot about the level 2 that we did on turn 3 for no real value. So, honestly, a pretty good blocker. He probably can get Coven off of a 1 or 2 drop and spend the mana to still swing through for 7, but that is still a 3-turn clock. So I'm pretty happy with that. I do have the mana to crack the clue if I need to. And, I mean, it's not looking terrible. It would be a lot better, obviously, if I had the Rin, but, you know, Spellbinder gonna Spellbinder. Okay, so he was not able to activate Coven and have the mana to, you know, he was not able to get another creature into play and have mana to activate Coven. He's missing land drops. that's good for me. It's also good for me that without the aspirant, he can't kind of move the counters around to vary his powers. So even if he hits a land next turn, he'll have 2/4 power creatures in play, so he still won't be able to activate Coven. Considering I'm kind of just racing him right now, I'm not going to crack this clue because I want to make sure that I can swing him with the tracker at fill value. It's as close as I'm going to get to a good draw. I think I'm just activating Haven and giving it the +1/+1 counter so I can swing through the Sentinel, and then I'm just trying to race. It's a weird spot to be in with the mono green deck. I'm not used to being in a situation where I have the chance to do that, but it seems like the play of this game, so we're gonna do it. He clearly seems like he has something here, and it is a Fateful Absence on the tracker. I'm fine with that. That does free up my clue. It also gives me another one. And I'm pretty happy he's not doing it on the Haven, because then I would lose the ability, even once I play the Florahedron, to play the Huntmaster next turn unless I draw a land. So pretty happy with all of this. And he's still taking 9, right? So maybe it was a mistake to play that as land. Like, if I play it as a Tetrahedron, he can obviously kill it. And leaving the 2 mana up allows me to crack a clue, but if I do draw land next turn and I played it as a ramp spell, it does give me a chump blocker, which is also pretty nice. So yep. So now, do I play Tovolar next turn, or do I just try and kill him? Well, I guess I can't kill him now through the blocker unless I draw a Blizzard Brawl, so I could definitely try and do that. An Inscription. Okay, so does that do it? He's going to gain 3 life if I Inscription, and if I kick an Inscription, I cannot also go up with the Haven, or attack with the Haven as well. So let's say I don't kick the Inscription and I just fight. So he gains 3, he goes to 9. Then I only attack for 5, he goes to 4. That's obviously not good enough. If I kick, he loses. Okay, so 6, 7. I'm only counting 7 damage because it's a fight, so he does gain the life. So he'd go up to 9, and I could attack with a 7 power troll. He'd go to 2. I'd also gain 7, or I'd gain 6 actually. I'd gain 6, go to 11. So I think I'd still quote unquote win, but I don't think it would be this turn. I don't know, if he hits a land drop though, I'd be at 11 and he'd be able to attack for 11. So I'm not happy with that. Man, this is tough. Yeah, I forgot about the life gain. So did I at first. This is tough. I've got another timeout though, so I'm not rushing. I'm just going to think this through. I think my best play is just Old Growth Troll, attack, let him go to 2, and play the Huntmaster. He can only attack me down to 1. It loses to Aspirant. I can't think of what else pumps his creature, so yeah, I think that's the play. And then I have the Inscription next turn. And the Inscription next turn is probably definitely lethal. I guess the other thing that I could do now is just go ahead and fight the Flyer. I mean, I trade the Troll and the Inscription for the Flyer, but it ensures that I'm not going to die next turn. Actually, not really, because if he draws a land, I'll only have 1 blocker for his 2 creatures. I'll be in the same boat. Oh, you know what? This is bad because, well, if he draws any other creature that he's able to play as a 1-drop, he can then activate Coven and kill me. Well, at this point, I've made my bed, so I'm going to play the Huntmaster and hope he doesn't draw an Aspirant or any other 1-drop. Or a Maul. We came so close. We came so close. Dang. Good game, opponent. Good game. I'll be interested to see, looking back on that, if I can find a line that plays around more of the things than what I played around, including the Maul that I honestly did not even think about. Yep, so we didn't quite make it to 7. We still get our 2 rares. We only lost out on 200 goals, so not the end of the world, but we'll go ahead and see what we got real quick. Still no mythics. Hey, but we got a bonus rare, so that's something. Mystic Reflection. Choose target non-legendary creature. The next time one or more creatures or planeswalkers enter the battlefield this turn, they enter as copies of this creature. Okay, that seems like a weird kind of like, I don't know, there's got to be some sort of combo-y something with that, right? Possibly. I don't know. I have to think about that one, but nothing immediately strikes me. But that's not surprising considering I don't know what most of the cards do. I've seen this before. This is in the aggressive like red-white equipment-y deck. Yeah, I don't know. It seems fine. It's a 3/3 creature on its own. It does some cool stuff with equipment. It's card advantage, so it feels kind of a similar role to like Tovolar in the werewolf deck. So I think it's a very good card if you're playing this deck. I'm not sold that this is a good deck to be playing, but I think once you're in this deck, excuse me, it's a good card to have. It is worth noting it's not worded like Tovolar. This is a 1 or more trigger, so if you attack with 2 equipped creatures, you still only draw 1 card. So doesn't go quite as ham as Tovolar. And then another pathway. All these are very good. I do play the black-white ones in the life lessons deck, the 3-color kind of life gaining deck. I haven't played that in quite some time, but I will make sure to go in and update the mana base to include the pathway. Actually, let's just go ahead and go do that real quick before I jump off so I don't forget about that in the future. So here's that deck that I was talking about earlier. It plays basically all the 1 and 2 mana creatures that either gain life when creatures come into play or that pump when you gain life. And your goal is, you're basically just a 2-card combo deck. Your goal is to have one of each in play to start and then just start to snowball. And this is obviously the best of the grow large creatures because you get to scry, which really helps smooth things out. This is the one holdover, the War Leader. Like I said, sometimes it just allows you to go off quite well. I'm also playing one Eye of Vecna in some slower matchups. You know, just basically it's a personal Howling Mind because once you get going, drawing 2 cards a turn, you're probably drawing a land to play every turn plus a card to play on average. And so eventually the two mana that you're spending is just all mana you've accrued off the extra cards you've already drawn. So it kind of starts paying for itself, and you're obviously outpacing the life gain or the life loss. So I've also seen some people play the 4 mana artifact that if you're over your starting life total, you draw a card, and if you're under, you gain 2 life. It's only an investment of 4 mana one time, so over time it's less mana, you know, expenditure total than this is. But I think having this come out and draw you a card right away for only 2 mana invested just gets you further ahead more quickly. And so I think I would still play this even if I had the other card, but I can't say that for sure. I can't say for sure it should even be in here. You know, I did have to eventually cut down on the a few of the combo pieces, and it's possible that the 2 recoveries, the 1 Vec and the 1 War Leader, should just be the rest of the the actual combo pieces. It's also possible that these the learn lessons are not the best here, but especially since this is literally, I think, the only black card in the main deck. So, you know, you might say, well, why would you ever play just one black card? But it does open up some additional sideboard options. Well, honestly, not really, because you could play the Pest Summonings with just green mana as well. I just felt like the pests do everything this deck wants to do once you have your other combo pieces in play. Hang on just a second. The wife coming in to remind me that it's very late and I have to get up very early in the morning. Yeah, I've got to work on the whole schedule when I can do this and being better about noticing what time it is and saying, oh, I'm just gonna not complete this this event. I'll pick it up tomorrow. But I really wanted to get through it. But I guess I'm gonna end the deck tech kind of incompletely here. We are just gonna go ahead and very quickly. What did we get? We got one of the, was it the green black pathways we got? Yes. So I'm not interested in dropping out a swamp. We need one to be able to sciences for, so I'm just going to replace one of the forests with a forest that can sometimes be a swamp. And there you go. Uh-oh. Oh, was it not that one? Okay, I lied. It wasn't that one. Nope, not that one either. Okay. Alright, we did it. We did it. Okay, so we're going to add one forest back in and take a plains out then. Very good. Okay. So that's going to be it for me tonight, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I will... cannot guarantee I'll be back on tomorrow. Monday is normally family dinner night, so I think we'll definitely do that. I don't know if everybody goes to bed early. I may jump back on in the evening again like I did tonight, or I might be exhausted after being up this late tonight and take the night off. So still, like I said yesterday, still working on how often I'm going to be doing this and any sort of set schedule. So I'm just kind of jumping on when I can, when it feels right, and yeah, try and figure out what works for me, what works for the viewers that are coming in. Remus, thanks for hanging out again. I think you've by far been the most active person that I've had in chat, and I think you've been the one that has shown up more than anyone else. I think you're the only person that I've seen as a repeat, so thank you very much for that. I appreciate you hanging out, and I hope to see you soon. All right, bye guys.